Right, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. First of all, giving all praises to Supreme Elohim, of our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, whose proper name is Yahweh. All praises due to Yahweh, Yahweh Shai. So, first I want to announce I'm going to I guess the spirit moved me to do a webinar. I wasn't going to do one. I'm going to do a webinar this weekend, but it's really going to be a wealth of information. The information, the link is in the room to register. So this webinar right here is something very different. It's some information that I kind of stumbled upon and figured out. And if you attend this webinar and you use this information, you should be able to get remedy in just about any court case. You should be able to get remedy with just about any traffic stop, even without that piece of plastic. To all of you truckers out here, there's a lot of truckers out there that usually reach out to me. You definitely want to attend this webinar. The Most High has actually blessed me with some information that could pretty much shut down these public officials if they don't have this particular information, because they're supposed to be registered. And if they're not registered and they don't have this and you do, there's little or nothing that they can actually do to you, even if you don't have that piece of plastic that they call a Delta Lima. So you definitely want to attend this webinar. We got court issues. This webinar could tell you how to really have some success herein for educational purposes only, of course. There's a link. This webinar is actually going to only be one day, which is Saturday. It'll be well worth it if you attend this. You definitely will learn something new. I don't want to really say too much. I can't really say too much about it here, but it would definitely be worth your while to actually attend this particular webinar in general. It's going to be different, but very powerful and very, very insightful. So, go ahead and pre-register right now if you haven't registered. I'm going to start off saying Yahweh lives and blessed is my rock. Benaiah, Melachah, Yashabim, all you dudes, really. I sent all of you links to come in the room. Marty Ma, sent you all. Lightning here, it's really messed up. I sent all of you links to come in the room, man. I seen Benaiah on the call. Should adjust this light. All right, so yeah, you all have links to come in the room. One second. Let me get my lighting adjusted here. Shalom, Joel, Elder. So you all have links to come in the room. So you definitely want to attend this webinar this weekend. So as I was saying, let's see if one of these guys come in here. See, we're busy. See where he coins over here. So blessed is my rock, and exalted is my Elohim, the rock of my deliverance, Yahweh. Right. So before I go into this message tonight, should I say this basura? To those unaware, basura, it's like the Ibrit word for message, right? And this message is a shalom, Christo Price. This message is designed to reach those that the Most High has placed it upon their hearts to be able to receive it. If it's not intended for you to receive the message, you won't, right? We are the last Nazarene. Waiting for one of these guys to come in the room here. So what is the message? What is the basura? What is the basura? The basura is the answer to mankind's oldest mystery. What is the meaning of life? That's a question that a lot of people have. What is the meaning of life? And the essential, the most important meaning of life is ahab, love. That's the most, hey, Shalom, Marty Mars up in here. The most important meaning of life is ahab, is love. Many of you don't know how to love. Many of you don't know what love is. See, from beginning to end, the Creator has pleaded, has searched hearts, and has repeated himself beyond measure for mankind to return to him. Who has ears to hear him? Let him hear. He said, love me and guard my commandments. The word, the light, the wisdom, the living water, and his covenant are all one and the same thing. The Torah of Yahweh. The Mashiach of Yasha Allah of Israel, Yahweh Shai, told an elder of Israel, if you do not believe when I spoke to you about earthly things, how are you going to believe when I speak to you about heavenly things? And no one has gone up into Shemayim, to the heavens, except he who came down from Shemayim, the son of Adam. That's a Mashiach Yahweh Shah. And as Moshe lifted up the serpent in the wilderness, even so must the son of Adam be lifted up, so that whosoever believes in him, it didn't just say Israelite, man. Stop the racism. It didn't just say Israelite. It says, and whosoever believe in him shall not perish, but have everlasting life. For the supreme Elohim so loved the world that he gave his only prosecuted son, so that everyone who believed in him would not perish, but possess everlasting life. For the Elohim did not send his son into the world to judge the world, but that the world through him might be saved. He didn't come here for judgment the first time. He who believes in him is not judged, but he who does not believe in him, like Muslims, say he's just a prophet. Like Moors, say he's just a prophet. Like Torah center Israelites, they don't believe in him. But whoever does not believe in him is judged already, because he's not believed in the name of the only brought forth son of Allah. Allah just simply means power. And this is the judgment, that the light has come into the world and men love darkness. You know why it's so difficult for Tours Bay to break away from that Moor stuff? Because men love darkness. You know why you people come on here and you scoffer and you know that we're coming with the truth? Because men love darkness rather than the light. For their works were evil. See, for everyone who practiced evil, they hate the light. And the light does not come to the light, at least his works should be exposed. See, a man that's operating in darkness, he doesn't want to come in the light. He want to do things in secrecy, like Masons, like the Illuminati, like Moors. You don't want to do things in the light. But the one doing the truth comes to the light, so that his works are clearly seen. They that have been robbed of Elohim. It's Yakanan, man, chapter 3, man. And he himself is an anointed slaughter for our sins. And not for ours only, but also for all the world. So stop the racism, man. You Israelites, stop the racism, man. If these other nations submit, they're to be taught by an Israelite, and they can make it in Shemayim, man. So stop it, man. And by this we know that we know him, if we guard his commandments. The one who says, I know him, and does not guard his commandments, tourists, or keep his commandments, is a liar. And the truth is not in him. How you say you know him, but you're not keeping the high holy days? How you say you're Israelites, but you're not keeping the high holy days? Not keeping the laws. You didn't even know anything about the law. Shouldn't a light or something come on? No, because men love darkness. Men love darkness, man. Still with this name, man, before I go into this commerce stuff, let's deal with the name. Hey, Shalom, America. The primary usage of the ancient names, Yahweh, why Yahweh Shah. Of course, some of them pronounce it Yahuwah. I can't say that they're wrong. That's just the region and a different dialect. Or some may say Yahusha. That's not wrong. It's just they pronounce it different because of a different reason, but they spell it the same. See, family, a restoration is taking place. You hear that, Marty? A restoration is taking place across the face of the earth. The key of knowledge that has actually been withheld is being revealed again. And it is turning the world upside down. Hey, Benai, let's get Shemot 31 and 18. Book of Exodus 31 and 18.
Shalom, shalom.
Shalom. See, we learned that on Mount Sinai, the Creator engraved 2 stone tablets with his finger, and he gave it to Moshe. He engraved his name using 4 Hebrew letters. Yah, Ha, Wah. Some pronounce it Yud, Hey, Ah, Hey. Yud, Hey, Ah, Hey. Yah, Ha, Wah. 4 letters. They took it and they said that the name, after the 8th century, they said that the name is too sacred to pronounce. So they started calling it the Tetragrammaton, meaning 4 letters that represent the name of the Most High. We could look at the Yahweh Kadash and see what that name is. Let's get Shemot, Exodus 31 and 18.
It's the book of Shemot, Exodus chapter 31, verse 18. And he gave unto Moses, when he had made an end of communing with him upon Mount Sinai, 2 tables of testimony, tables of stone written with the finger of Yahweh.
See that? It was written with his finger. And guess what? The name is often represented by Latin letters. YHWH. YHWH. But in their original form, they appear like Yahweh. Let me see if I could get I probably have something on my computer with an example of that name. Give me a second here, man. Everyone knows what the name looked like, but so the name they use the Latin Tetragrammaton. I'm gonna show you what the name looked like, and if you know the name, you need to start using the name, man. Why would you tell someone not to say the name? The name's not important. You could call him Yo Play Yogurt as you want to, as a guy said from IUIC.
Wow.
Say the name, Nate. Why you got people going around and won't say the name, man? What's wrong with you? Find this, man.
All that call on the name shall be saved.
Come on. So that means if they're not using the name, you can't say Jesus and expect yourself to be saved, man.
All right. I'm trying to explain that to people. I don't know. I guess I don't really respect or fear the Most High like that.
You really don't, man. You really don't.
I mean, if you have respect for anybody, you're gonna call them their right name.
Right.
It's that simple.
It's like me calling you Yashabi.
Right. All right. Make no sense sometimes.
You hear that, Marty?
I kind of.
You gotta say your name, man. You gotta start. David talking about, I just can't remember that. You better say the name, David. You're gonna get caught up without your kingdom. You better say the name. You better hope you remember. See this? Now they came up with the Latin tetragrammaton from this. This is the original name. Yah, ha, wa. So H at the end. You drop the A. Y, H, W, H in the Latin. So that proves that they know the name. You see what I'm saying, Benaiah? They know the name. If they didn't know the name, how would they come up with the tetragrammaton with the Y, H, W, H? Some pronounce that Yud, Hey, Hey. This is why some people say Yahuwah. But we know the Yud shouldn't be there. That's a modernized pronunciation. It's the Yah sound, not Yud. That's that modernized stuff, man. And the scriptures say if we're going to find out that the Father's name is in the Son's name. Yah, Ha, Wa, Shai. This is pronounced Shai. This is the only letter in the Lashawan Kadash that doesn't have the A sound, the Ah sound. This has the I sound, Yah, Ha, Wa. You hear that, Benaiah? All of them have the Ah sound, except for this. All 22 letters. 21 of them have the I sound, except for that right there. Very simple language to comprehend, man, and speak. Very, very simple. They made it complex, just like their English language. They made it complex. Understand that. So, in the autograph of the creator of the UNI verse, he wrote it with his own finger. Yahweh did not write in a Babylonian script. Well, say Babylonian script and tell you what I'm talking about right here. Because a lot of people don't know this history, man. See, most people just think I studied the law, man. I'm a historian, man. They don't. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Babylonian script. The Babylonian script is what a lot of people call Syriac. It's not. It's Babylonian script, and that's what they call the modern Hebrew. Let me show you what I'm talking about real quick. They call it modern Hebrew. See, that's Esau jumping in the book, man. This stuff I had is a block script. This is Babylonian script I had. Hold on, let me share my screen again. Bear with me.
Yeah, that stuff is 10 times harder to read it in the Lashawan Kadash.
Come on, they put all them dots and everything in there, man. Of course it is. You know why? Because they couldn't speak our language. You see how they mispronounce our words and all of that? Called Farrakhan. It's not designed to speak our language, man. We're different, man. This is why the Most High said we got to teach the nations, man. And people that don't accept that, man, it's no shemayim for you, man. No shemayim for you. That's what it is, man. See, this is the Babylonian script right here. You see how that's blocked? They totally changed it from the Lashawan Kadash. Here's a Babylonian script. See that? Totally change it. So the Most High we needed to show that so people could really comprehend, what I'm explaining to him here. So the Most High did not write it in Babylonian script. He wrote it in the Lashawan Kadash, also known as Paleo Hebrew, with its primary Hebrew, and it did so consistently throughout the scriptures in the handwriting of the inspired prophets. It's important to comprehend that the ancient Paleo Hebrew letters, they sound the same. All of them have the ah sound. You understand what I'm saying? They look drastically different from the modern Hebrew that I just showed, the Babylonian script. And What you see today is the Babylonian script, not the Lashawan Kadash. And what they do, Benai, they tell, oh, we're not, you guys don't speak real Hebrew. No, it's because you couldn't speak our language. Let's get Yeshaya 34 and 16. Isaiah 34 and 16. They didn't know I was going to do this. They thought I was joining right into that law stuff. They didn't know they was going to get edified. Shalom, Nika.
Come on.
I don't know where them other guys at. Malachi said he's driving. I sent it to Dwayne Garden also, man.
Yeah, I clicked on the link you sent me and David.
Yeah, I sent it about 2 or 3 times, man. Because I wasn't sure if I sent it to you.
Come on, it's the book of Yeshaya, chapter 34, verse 16.
Isaiah. Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. Every name, most of the names you see in the scriptures, they always pay homage and respect to the Most High. It always has Yah in it. But
Right.
seek ye out of the book of the Supreme Allahan and read. No one of these shall fail.
See that? So Isaiah, Salakia, go ahead.
None shall want her mate, for my mouth it had commanded, and his spirit it had gathered them.
So Isaiah 34 and 16, it admonishes us to seek the book, the scroll of Yahweh. And in that scroll, we find Yahweh's name written in the ancient Paleo Hebrew. The house of Yahweh, right, was taken into captivity in Babylon. Let me give you a little bit of history, man, and show you how this thing happened. The house of Yahweh, they could tell you is Judah, right? The house of Yahweh was taken into captivity by the Babylonians around 586 BCE. Write that down. You should know this kind of history because you're supposed to teach it to your children, right? Now, upon their release after 70 years in captivity, they brought back the Babylonian letters that I showed earlier in the block script that they call modern Hebrew. They brought back those Babylonian shapes, which we now refer to as the modern Hebrew. So about half the book of Daniel, right, one of the Babylonian captives, is written in the original Paleo Hebrew and the rest in the Babylonian script. So about 400 BCE, a scribe and priest by the name of Ezra also adopted the same square form of the Babylonian Hebrew that we see today. Understand that? So as the scrolls would wear out, the scribes copied the scrolls in the new Babylonian letters instead of in the Lashawan HaKadosh. That's how it got done for the general text. But one word, isn't it ironic, Benaiah? One word was faithfully preserved in the original form. And so when they came to the name, they carefully preserved the Paleo Hebrew. You understand that? The Hebrew word Yahweh is in its authentic form. This word, to those of you that don't know, this word is used 7,000 times in the Tanakh. Everyone know what the Tanakh is? The Tanakh is the so-called Old Testament, right? Not just the Torah, but the writing of the prophets as well. So we also know that the earliest copies of the Septuagint, everybody know what the Septuagint is? No, you probably don't. That's the so-called New Testament. It's properly called the Septuagint, meaning 70, which was written in the Greek. You understand that? So The Septuagint translation into the Greek, it preserved also the Paleo-Hebrew name Yahweh. It preserved that name. But when you look at later copies used by the Greeks, the word Kyrios, meaning Lord, replaced his name. That's when they started it. And so by replacing it, they wiped it out. So instead of putting Yahweh there, they put the word Lord. That's what you see in the King James. It started in the Greek captivity. The 70 translated, word 70, Septuagint means 70. Well, it translated the spelling of Yahweh Shah as Joshua. You understand that? Into the Greek letters, Iesous, right? Iesous. So they took it, they stopped changing it. I mean, they stopped using Yahweh Shah and they changed it to Jesus, because they wanted you to worship Zeus. They didn't want you to worship Yahweh Shah. How many of you know who Jesus was? Jesus was the successor for Moshe, right? So those who rely on this evidence that it is actually acceptable to allow the Greek form to trump the original Hebrew, you're simply moving in error. You're moving in error. And you're moving further into the past and not recognizing its corruption. The Greek alphabet, let me tell you something, man. Oh, you Greeks, oh, you Edomites, right? Let me tell you something, man. The Greek alphabet is unable to convey the correct sound of the Hebrew letters because it has no sh. There is no sh sound in the Greek, right? And no letter Yah. They have no letter Y, right? In the Greek. So the third commandment, let's get Exodus 20 verse 7, Benai. Let's see what the third commandment declares, man. It says we are to show his name. We are not to show his name. The word show means to destroy. We're not to destroy his name. You understand that, Nate? Oh, you don't want to use the name? You understand that? We're not to destroy the name. We're supposed to use the name.
Come on. This is the book of Shemot, Exodus chapter 20, verse 7. Thou shalt not take the name of the supreme Elohim Yahweh in vain.
Come on, we should. So they in the English text, they done changed all of that around. The word should be, we shall not show destroy his name or cast his name to ruin. They done rewrote everything in the way that they understand things, man. Like when they say when they got to stand things like toilet paper, and it's supposed to be paper toilet because they do everything backwards. You understand what I'm saying?
Come on.
But by denying or avoiding Yahweh's name and the name of his son, Yahweh Shai, both these people that follow Judaism and the people that follow Christianity has done exactly that, breaking the third commandment. Because we was told not to show his name, not to destroy his name. See, while in the Babylonian, the house of Yahweh, or as Torres Bay was saying, Yahudi, they heard the Babylonians using the name. Let me show you how it happened. They heard the heathens while they was in Babylon using the name in a disrespectful, profaning way. So to help prevent this from happening, the leadership, they put into effect a ban against pronouncing the name Yahweh. You understand? So now they was declaring it to be ineffable. By never saying the name, it quickly became unknown to the Yahudim. So this ban is completely contrary to the scriptures. We know that. Yahweh commands us over and over again in the scriptures to utter, to proclaim, and to lift up his authentic Hebrew name. You got that, Nate? Oh, you don't want to use the name, you got that? Oh, you Christians is using the name Jesus, you got that? Oh, you Christians is using the word God, you got that? Oh, you Christians is using the word Lord. Do you have that? You better have it. In the words of Marty Marr, you dig? You better dig. If not, you're going to get dug. You're going to be written in the earth. All they that forsake thee shall be written in the earth. As the scriptures say, that means you're going to be put to death, man. It's of paramount importance. It is of paramount importance to understand that if we continue to use counterfeit names or devices for the Father and his Son, we will not be in true worship, nor truly know the one that we serve. We will leave ourselves open for the enemy to step in as the author of confusion, and we will be deceived. Yahweh Shai mentioned that, right? That they had taken away the key to knowledge. Let's get that. The book of Luke 11 and 52. Luke 11 and 52. Where are these other T-Dot? Oh, there's General Yashupin. Luke 11 and 52, Benaiah.
Come on.
This is not the message they anticipated, Marty. They was coming on here for commerce. I got some commerce for you, man.
It's the book of Luke, chapter 11, verse 52. Woe unto you, lawyers, for ye have taken away the key of knowledge.
It's talking about these briefcases, man. It's talking about these damn briefcases out here.
Ye enter not in yourselves, and them that were entering in ye hindered.
See that? People that was trying to enter in, man, they was hindering these people, man. They don't want to enter themselves, and the people that try to enter in, they hindered. See, we find, let's get Bereshit 4 and 26. See, we find in the book of Genesis 4 and 26 that Yahweh's name began to be called upon and continued to be called upon to and during the first temple period. When the house of Yahweh was taken into captivity in Babylon, house of Judah, the pagan Babylonian influence took a firm grip on their hearts and on their minds. So in our modern translations, we see the result of this ban that they had on the name. Book of Genesis 4 and 26.
The book of Bereshit, Genesis chapter 4, verse 26. And to Seth, to him also there was born a son, and he called his name Enos. Then began men to call upon the name of Yahweh.
See that? They was calling on the name ever since the beginning, man. So why Nate telling, oh, you don't have to say the name? Why are you calling him Jesus? Are you really such a dodo that you believe that the word Jesus was being stated back there when the J didn't even come into creation until the 15th century? You can miss me with that madness, man. Can't you see Esau has actually pulled the damn wool over your eyes, man? You can't follow this man. You better follow the truth. Don't you get that, man? How you gonna call him God? They called on his name, man. And Lashawan Kadash, man. Not these fake made up names, man. You're going to get caught up with your nations, man, if you continue to do this. Yahweh's name has been entirely omitted and replaced with titles. Like GLCC, they call him a title. You don't know the difference between a title and a name. Muslims call him a title. Allah is not a name, man. It's a title. If you understand linguistics, that's not a name. Power is not a name. That's a title. It's an attribute. His name has actually been entirely omitted and replaced with titles or terms which actually can apply to pagan deities. Almost 7,000 times, right? Because the ineffability of the name is not sound doctrine, man. The new translations that many of you are holding in your hands, if you got a Yahuwah Bible or one of the ones that we have, they're restoring the Father's name in the name of the Son using the original Paleo Hebrew script by replacing the true name in the text as it was actually originally written. You understand that? And this has actually not been done, man, since the first translation was made in 2nd century BCE. The first translations from the Hebrew to the Greek has been named the Septuagint, and it's abbreviated with Latin letters for 70. Let's get the book of Proverbs 30, verse 4. Proverbs 30, verse 4, John Brown, Sugar Ray, is asking a crucial question. It's asking a crucial question. What is his name? And what is his son's name? And I'm going to tell you something, man. Taurus Bay, you're caught up into a lot of this stuff because I heard you call him Hashem. Man, that's that modern madness, man. That's not the name. Following that damn guy, the 13th nun. The 13th nun, if he ain't careful, we're going to pull his damn skirt down and, expose him. You keep following the 13th nun. That's how many of you going to get salvation too? None.
Come on.
You say he stood, it sounded like a damn rapper last night when I was playing. And you can see the man couldn't look in the camera, man. Study people's body, he looking all around. Yeah, all right.
Come on. Came with a whole bunch of really just man-created dogma, doctrine, and all that stuff. Just
13 this, 13 that, 13 that. See, that sounds, it sounds appealing to someone that's not really learned. You understand what I'm saying?
Come on.
But if you learn it, you see that as BS real quick, man.
What's that scripture that says they talk real like oil?
Oh yeah, that
like oil.
Yeah, the tongue is slicker than oil. That's in Proverbs.
Come on.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 30, verse 4. Who hath ascended up into heaven?
Yeah, who has ascended up into heaven? Who was that, Sugar Ray? Who ascended up into heaven? That was Yahweh Shah. The tongue is slicker than oil.
Or descended? Who hath gathered the wind in his fist?
Yeah, who descended? That was Yahweh Shah. Who gathered the wind in his fist? That was Yahweh. Benai, get Proverbs 5, verse 3. Go ahead, Yashabin.
Who hath bound the waters in a garment?
Who has bound the waters in the garments? That was Yahweh.
Who hath established all the ends of the earth?
Who has established all the ends of the earth? That was Yahweh.
What is his name?
Yeah, what's his name? He's asking. It's not Jesus. It's not God. It's not Lord. Read.
And what is his son's name?
Yeah, what is his son's name?
If thou canst tell.
If you could tell. Wait, what's the name? What is his name, Sugar Ray? Sugar Ray coming here saying, I am. That's not his name, Sugar Ray.
It's another title.
That's a title. See, that's what I mean when someone doesn't understand linguistics. That's another title.
It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 5, verse 3. For the lips of a strange woman drop as in honeycomb, and her mouth is smoother than oil.
See that? Smoother than oil. You know, and a lot of you so-called fake priests, your mouth is smoother than oil. You understand? Your mouth is smoother than oil. So they use all sorts of substitute terms. Hashem, Adonai, Elohim. None of which are his name. None of those are his name, man. They are titles. You understand that, Sugar Ray? I am is a title. I am that I am. Ahaya, Hashahaya. That's a title. That's not a name, man. I am is not a name. It's a title, man. They are titles, man, or pronouns, right? See, in Christianity, they use the word Jehovah. Jehovah, wickedness. Witness. For the Father, and they use Jesus for the Son. Both of which are not authentic. They are imprinted with corruption found in the Greek and Latin alphabets. Let me tell you Christians something, man. You get mad, whatever, man. The name can't be Jehovah, right? Or Jesus, right? Because there is no letter J in Hebrew. The letter J appeared on earth during the 15th to 16th century. The Greek added the ending sound S to the name Yahweh. Another term that they use is God, G-O-D. See, God has come to replace the original Hebrew word Elohim. Now, let's get the book of Exodus 23 and 13. Shemot 23 and 13. And with that scripture in mind, I want you to consider this reference I'm about to give you. Exodus 23 and 13.
Book of Shemot, Exodus chapter 23, verse 13. And in all things that I have said unto you, be circumspect.
Well, hold on. Sugar Ray, if you understand linguistics, then you will know that I am is not a name. It's a title.
Come on.
Talking about his Father in heaven. You sound like a Christian, man.
Right. If that was the name of the Most High, then we would see, every time we would see the name of the Most High mentioned, we would see I am has sent me, or I am that I am. That makes no sense whatsoever.
Yeah, it wouldn't be Yahweh throughout the Bible. It would be Ahaya, right? A little bit of common sense, man. It shows you that most people really don't think, man. They're not taught how to think. They're taught what to think because they don't think for themselves.
Book of Exodus chapter 23, verse 13. And in all things that I have said unto you, be circumspect, and make no mention of the name of other gods, neither let it be heard out of thy mouth.
See that? So with that scripture in mind, right? This is what the Encyclopedia America says. That was actually the 1945 edition. It says under the topic of God, the word for personal objects of religions, worship, formerly applicable to superhuman beings of heathens' myths. So the word God was used for Superhuman beings of heathen myths, something made up, like a comic book, on conversion. Racist to Christianity terms was applied to supreme being. You see that? So they were superhuman beings. So Christianity, they trying to call it the supreme being. But it was mythological. Let's get 1 Thessalonians 5:22.
The book of 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 22. Abstain from all appearance of evil.
You hear that? You hear that, Sugar Ray? He didn't hear. He in the movement. He's gonna be another one. He gonna get edified tonight, man. He can get edified. He in the chat room spitboxing on the keyboard. So 1 Thessalonians that General Yashibin just read 5:22, it warns us not to give the appearance of evil, and this would have to include what comes from our mouth, because gall is deceit. So when we speak gall using replacement names or use titles like I am or higher in place of his name, we're breaking the third commandment and we're giving the appearance of evil in our speech. You understand that? We're talking around the name, but not really saying it. You understand that? Many say they don't use the name because they want to keep from offending people. But they don't mind offending Yahweh then, right? But he knows their hearts. Let's get Numbers 6:24 through 27. I'm not saying you're evil, Sugar Ray. The Bible's saying you're evil. The Bible's saying you're evil.
The book of Numbers, chapter 6, verse 22 through 27.
I can see where you're calling yourself Sugar Ray because you're starting to act sweet. Go ahead.
And Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto Aaron and unto his sons, saying, On this wise ye shall bless the children of Yasharal, Israel.
See that? You hear that, Sugar Ray? You're probably not one of the people, because the scriptures Yashabim is reading, it says the name will be upon his people. Read on.
Saying unto them, Yahweh bless thee and keep thee. Yahweh make his face shine upon thee and be gracious unto thee. Yahweh lift up his countenance upon thee and give thee peace. And they shall put my name upon the children of Yasharal.
You see that? The name will be upon his people. It won't be upon you, Sugar Ray. I'm starting to believe you're not Yasharal, man. I'm starting to think that you're one of those Gentiles, because his name will be upon his people. Go ahead, read. We're going to read up to verse 27.
And I will bless them.
So what name will that be? What name would that be that would be upon his people? It tells us, let's read Genesis 4:26. Let me ask you this, son. I'm showing you don't understand the scriptures, Sugar Ray. Now, let's get Genesis 4:26. If you could read Hebrew, you tell me what that says, Sugar Ray. Does it say Yahweh or does it say Ahaya? That's showing you that Ahaya is not his name. It didn't say the people will call upon the name of Ahaya. It said they will call on Yahweh. Read Genesis 4:26 again, man. Let's edify this guy, man.
And this is the book of Bereshit, Genesis chapter 4, verse 26. And to Seth, to whom also there was born a son, and he called his name Enos. Then began men to call upon the name of Yahweh.
Hold on, man. Because this boy, I know he don't speak Hebrew, man. Because he won't understand what I'm saying. The knowledge is so profound, it's going over his damn head. You guys understand what I'm saying? If his name was Ahaya, right? It would be throughout the Bible where the word Yahweh is used. You understand what I'm saying?
Come on.
That's why that thing Ahaya is not in the Bible again and again, because it is not his name. You find the name Yahweh, 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 not Ahaya. That's a title. They don't get that, man, because it's not given to you to understand.
And if you look at like certain subscripts where it says that Lord, the Lord right there, it'll say YHWH or like Tetragrammaton. So it's saying they know the name. They know the name, but they just put these titles there on purpose.
Show this boy, man, because he don't know he's dealing with he told me he understands linguistics. You don't understand a damn thing. You're another fake that's coming on here. You can get edified, man. I'll make you cry before you leave. Now, they put Yahweh here. We know that's not his name, but this word is Yahweh. If he understand that. See that? That is not no Ahaya. They call it Yahweh. We know that's improper, man. Because the E doesn't belong there. So the name is Yahweh. You see that right there, son? Let's look at Strong's 3068. See that? They put the YHVH. You see that? That's the Tetragrammaton. You get that, son? You see that, son? You see that, boy? You better stop desecrating the name of the Heavenly Father, man. See, they put that YHVH. Remember, the W came from the V. That's Latin, man. Doesn't belong there anyways. So all he has to do is look at Strong's 3068. You see it there in the Ibrit? Yahweh. Yahweh. They don't put Lord and all of that there. So you need to shut the hell up and run. Stop putting that garbage in the chat room. You don't know what you're talking about, man. Yahweh is the name. Ahaya is a title. Whatever you're trying to say. I'm calling you boy. That's what you're behaving like. You got the intelligence of a boy because you obviously don't comprehend this. You're trying to say his name was I am. Why didn't that say I am? What is I am in the Hebrew? In the Hebrew, I am that I am would be Ahaya, Yasha'aya, Ahaya. That's not what's written right there. You so unlearned. You don't even understand what I'm saying to you right now.
And then that would make John 5 and 43, when Christ says, Yahweh says, I come in the name of my Father. He doesn't come in the name of I am that I am.
Right.
That doesn't make any sense.
They don't get it because it's not given. You know what? The Most High gave him a reprobate mind. So he can't receive this knowledge. It's being blocked. He can't receive it. And then saying I am, man. It's like Christianity nonsense, man. Go over to the damn papacy so the Pope could touch on you, man. And then just move someone into a different damn region. That's what's going on over there, man. Don't bring that Christian nonsense over here, man. So, as we see right there, men begin to call on the name Yahweh. It's written right there in the Hebrew, man, if you can understand it. There's only one name given under the heaven. Let's get Acts 4 and 12. And it's not Ahaya, man. It's not Ahaya. Yeah, you could say Yahuwah. Pretty much the same thing. Some people just pronounce it differently, but it's spelled the same. Yahuwah, Yahweh, call it what you want, man. That's just a different in dialect pronunciation. Let's get that. But they coming with that Ahaya nonsense, man. Come on, man. It's a title. How many people you know name I am? What's your name? I am. You a what? It's giving them a title, man. Let's get to Acts 4, verse 12, man.
Go on. It's the book of Acts, Praxesis, chapter 4, verse 12. Neither is there salvation in any other, for there is none other name under Shemayim given among men, whereby we must be saved.
And Raul, Ahaya is not his name. That's a title. He only has one name. He has titles and attributes. So there's only one name by which we can be saved. Now let's get 1 Kings 18 and 24. See, here's the point. If it was Ahaya, then that would be throughout the Bible. If that's his name, Raul, why is it not throughout the Bible? Come on, man, let's go.
Book of 1 Kings, chapter 18, verse 24. And call ye on the name of your Elohim, and I will call on the name of Yahweh.
Okay, so stop. So why is the name, now we're seeing it again. In 1 Kings, what I need to go and pull that up to? It's not Ahaya. I'll go and get it, man. It's not Ahaya there. It's Yahweh, or you want to call him Yahuwah. I could rock with that. That's not wrong. That's just a difference in the region where a person's from and the pronunciation. I'm gonna beat this thing in the head, man. That little boy's gonna get washed up because that's not his name, man. You're desecrating the name, man. You blaspheming the name of the Heavenly Father, man. Every time you say something like that, and you're taking that something lightly.
Come on. I mean, if you think about, like, look at the first commandment the Most High gives us: "Thou shalt have no other Elohim." Every time you use these words, these other terms and stuff, you giving homage to these other gods that the Most High does not allow us to serve. The Most High does not want us to serve. The Most High is not playing with us. So, and keep blaspheming the name of the Most High.
So precept right there. Yeah, in that first, read that again, General Yashabin, 1 Kings 18:24, because we see that Elijah called on the name Yahweh while the pagans were calling on their deities, Baal and Ashereth. And there clearly must be a distinction in what we call our creator, right? Again, Baal is a Hebrew word meaning Lord, to those of you that don't get it. Read that precept again, Yashabin. Let's see if I can find this thing, man.
Book of 1 Kings, chapter 18, verse 24. And call ye on the name of your Elohim, and I will call on the name of Yahweh.
See that?
And the Elohim that answereth by fire, let him be Elohim. And all the people answered and said, it is well spoken.
So how come the name Ahaya is not there? Why didn't the name Yahweh Ahaya not there? I can't find that. I see 17th verse. I don't see the 24th verse. So Elijah called on the name Yahweh, why the pagans called on Baal. And this is what a lot of you are saying today, man. A lot of you are saying Baal. But there has to be a distinction. Let's get Deborah 28 and 10. That Deborah 28 and 10 says that all nations will see that we are called by Yahweh's name. It doesn't say Ahaya. For all of you trying to say I am. That what you're showing to me is you don't understand anything about the Ibrit. You don't understand anything. Sugar Ray, you don't understand anything about Hebrew, man. So you need to shut the hell up. We're not finding this Ahaya. I am that I am.
The book of Deborah, Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 10. And all people of the earth shall see that thou art called by the name of Yahweh, and they shall be afraid of thee.
So then from there, let's go to Revelations 24 and select it, 22 verse 4. Revelations 22 verse 4 says that the name Yahweh were built on our foreheads. If the name is Ahaya, Raul, how come Ahaya won't be on our foreheads? Why is it Yahweh? You understand? The name is Yahweh.
Come on, it's the book of Revelations, chapter 22, verse 4. And they shall see his face, and his name shall be in their foreheads.
See that? From there, let's get Malachi 3, verse 16. So, what name do we want on our foreheads? That's the question. What name do we want on our foreheads?
Book of Malachi, chapter 3. Verse 16. No, 17. So Book of Malachi, chapter 3, verse 17. And they shall be mine, saith Yahweh of hosts, in that day when I make up my jewels, I will spare them as man spareth his own son that serve him. So let me go to 16. Book of Malachi, chapter 3, verse 16. Then they that fear Yahweh spake often one to another, and Elohim hearkened and heard it, and a book of remembrance was written before him for them that feareth Yahweh and that thought upon his name.
So Malachi 3 and 16 is commanding us to think upon the name Yahweh. Neither Judaism nor Christianity has been thinking upon the name because they have not been using the name. They have not been using the name. His true Hebrew name, let's get Makal. Makal 4 verse 5. Makal 4 verse 5 reveals that we are to walk in Yahweh's name, not in Ahaya, not in Jesus, not in God, not in Lord, but in Yahweh. What did you say, Raul? Yahuwah.
Book of Micah, chapter 4, verse 5. For all people will walk, everyone in the name of his Elohim.
See that?
And we will walk in the name of Yahweh, our supreme Elohim, forever and ever.
Come on. Psalms 83, verse 16 through 18. Yahweh commands us to seek his name. Let's get it. Precept after precept, man. Psalms 83, 16 through 18.
Come on, this is the book of Psalms, chapter 83, verse 16. Fill their faces with shame, that they may seek thy name, O Yahweh. Let them be confounded and troubled forever. Yea, let them be put to shame and perish. Verse 18. That men may know that thou, whose name alone is Yahweh.
See that? Is what?
Is Yahweh.
You sure that don't say I am Ahaya?
La'ah.
From there, let's get Psalm 72 and 17. Psalm 72 and 17 tells us that Yahweh's name will endure forever. Forever. But I'm going to hit you with something. Judaism and the church has placed a stumbling block where the name is concerned. Not only have they both forgotten his name, but they literally destroyed Yahweh's name thousands and thousands of times in the scriptures by putting things like God, Lord, Jesus, and so on and so forth.
Book of Psalms, chapter 72.
72 and 17.
17. His name shall endure forever.
You hear that? You hear that, Sugar Ray? You hear that,
His
Sweet
name.
Baby Ray?
His name shall be continued as long as the sun, and men shall be blessed in him. All nations shall call him blessed.
Now, how does it tell us to praise and worship? Let's get 2 Samuel 7 and 26. It says that we are supposed to magnify Yahweh's name. But in reality, what you've been doing, you've been magnifying unscriptural names like Jesus, like Lord, like God, and so on and so forth. And many of the titles like Ahaya. These titles apply to a generic, non-specific deity. 2 Samuel 7 and 26.
It's the book of 2 Samuel, chapter 7, verse 26. And let thy name be magnified forever.
You hear that?
Saying, Yahweh of hosts is the supreme Elohim over Yashar Allah. And let the house of thy servant David be established before thee.
See that? It's like it, man. It's just I can't understand how she could be in the room and I can still hear the baby crying. That just kind of incensed me. Be having to take deep breaths here. From there, let's get Psalms 106 and 47.
The book of Psalms, chapter 106, verse 47. Save us, Yahweh Elohim, and gather us from among the heathen to give thanks unto the holy name, Kadash Shem.
You see that?
And
well, it says to give thanks to Yahweh's name.
And to triumph in thy praise.
You hear that, Taurus? Not no Hashem. You need to stop that Hashem nonsense, Taurus, back. That's not his name. That is not his name. It says give praises to the name Yahweh, or you might say Yahuwah. We'll let you rock with Yahuwah, but you're supposed to give praises to the name. So you can't just say any name, man. You can't just say any name, man. But what you guys doing? You're giving praises to foreign names. Hashem, Elohim. Elohim is not the name, man. That came after the Babylonian captivity. You replaced the R with an Elohim, with L. L is not his name. That came out of Babylon, man. From there, let's get Psalms 29, verse 2. Psalms 29, verse 2 say we are to esteem the name.
Con.
You should write these precepts down, Tourist Bay. Glad you finally joined us, but you missed a lot.
Book of Psalms, chapter 29, verse 2. Give unto Yahweh the glory due to his name. Worship Yahweh in the beauty of holiness.
Mm-hmm. Hear that? On Tourist Bay said he been there. Yeah, we don't see how Tourist Bay coming in here trying to interrupt the message, asking what is Genesis 11 and 9 means. Man, you just calm down, man. Listen, man. Come on, man. See how you trying to divert, man? That's not the right spirit right there, man.
Yeah, you gotta focus on the message we're trying to deliver right now.
It's a diversion tactic, man. Psalms 45 and 17 tells us that every generation is to remember the name Yahweh. Yahweh.
Book of Psalms, chapter 45, verse 17. I will make thy name to be remembered in all generations. Therefore shall the people praise thee forever and ever.
Mm-hmm. From there, let's get Exodus 3 and 14 and 15. It says his name will be memorial to all generations. Not this their Memorial Day that they have coming up. This Memorial Day bull where they're going to push the prices of everything up. Supply and demand.
Book of Shemot, Exodus chapter 3, verse 14 and 15. And Yahweh said unto Moses, I am that I am. And he said, Thus shalt thou say unto the children of Yasharallah, I am, have sent me unto you. And Yahweh said moreover unto Moses, Thus shalt thou say unto the children of Yasharallah, Yahweh, your Elohim of your fathers.
That's when he gave the name.
The Elohim of Abraham, the Elohim of Isaac, the Elohim of Jacob, have sent me unto you. This is my name forever.
That's when he gave the name, not when he gave Yahweh. I mean, Salakia, Ahaya. When he said, Yahweh, this is my name forever, or Yahuwah, that's when he gave the name. The other thing was just a title. Ahaya was a title. Salvation is found in Yahweh's name and that of his son, according to Psalms 54, verse 1, Joel 2 and 32, and Acts 2 and 22, and also Acts 4 and 12. Clearly, we are to call on Yahweh's name and the name of his son for salvation. Not on Jesus, not on God, not on Lord, not on Hashem. Yet we continually use these counterfeit names or ordinary titles like Ahaya. When we pray, we shouldn't be doing that. See, using a personal name is a matter of identification. Pronouncing a person's name as well as we can is a sign of respect, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
But too many men has actually hidden, disguised, and corrupted and substituted the name of our Creator. Jehovah, Jesus. That's one of the recent origins, Jehovah. Jehovah originally appeared as Jesus in the Geneva translation and in the first printing of the KJV, right? In the subsequent printings of the KJV, the letter J begin to be used for the letter I, right? At the beginning of the sentence, the letter J is only a few hundred years old, man. What's really startling is that when Jehovah is broken down, we have Jehovah with the J replacing our father shortened phonetic name Yah. You get that? That makes no damn sense, man. So how you get that? If you break Jehovah down, it's Jehovah. But if we break Yahweh's name down, it's Yah, Y-A-H. Hova, you can look it up, man. In Strong's H, 1943, Hova is referenced in Strong's Exhausted Concordance as a word, and it means utter destruction. It means ruin. So when we speak the hybrid name Jehovah, we're in essence saying Yah is ruin. Means to ruin. Look it up. If you doubt it, look up Strong's H, 1943. I can't make this stuff up, man. And now the name Jesus has only been around for the last 500 years. The letter J only appeared on the planet less than 500 years ago. So clearly, we've been using a mutated form of the original name of our Savior. The name Yahweh or Yahusha, Yah, meaning Yah is our salvation, it was given to Joseph in a dream. Not the name Jesus, man. And those of you that stubbornly cleave to the recent form, Jesus, and will not listen to reason, you got to ask yourself, what does that mean for all of those people who call themselves believers that never used the name Jesus prior to the 16th century? What does that mean? Where's your respect for the Almighty's name, man, in the name of his son? The very same respect that we demand for our names. What if someone call you Poindexter? Would you like that, Benai?
Hell no.
You understand? And call Yasha being Sherman. And call Marty Mr. Peabody. Would you like that?
No,
See,
no respect.
certain so-called false believers, they feel that they could call the Father and Son's name by anything of their choosing. Yet they feel that Yahweh should have their name correct, right? In the Lamb scroll, right? In the book of life. I bet they want to make sure that their name's correct. I bet that. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
See, that's a double standard right there. That's a double standard towards Yahweh's name in the name of his son. See, men are not endowed with the authority to choose whatever name they prefer to call upon their salvation. They must submit to the truth. You must submit to the truth and build on what does not change. We're told in the book of Isaiah 52:6 that Yahweh's people will know his name. In the book of Revelations 3:8, it warns us that we're not to deny his name. In Jeremiah 10:25, it reveals to us that Yahweh will pour out his wrath on those who do not call on his name. Let's get that, Jeremiah 10:25. Let's get it. You want to keep using these names? He's going to pull his wrath out on you, man. You understand that? You understand that, Chorish? Stop calling him Hashem, man.
Does not Hashem mean just the name?
Mm-hmm. That's all it means. He don't. He just hear what hear them damn Amalekites saying, because they say it a lot. Hashem.
Yeah, Ha is the, and Shem is just the word name.
Right.
That's it. Yeah.
That's all it means. Hashem. See, they don't know what they're saying. It proves it. Just like I am. What are you? I am. I am that I am. Okay, that's a title. All right, you are that you are. Now what? I am too. So I guess we are.
Right.
Book of Jeremiah, chapter 10, verse 25. Pour out thy fury upon the heathen that know thee not,
Mm-hmm.
and upon the families that call not on thy name.
You hear that? You got to call on the name. You better say the name, Nate. Nate, you better stop teaching those people not to say the name.
For they have eaten up Jacob and devoured him and consumed him and have made his habitation desolate.
Come on. It would be an act of rebellion to ignore these clear instructions, right? These are not suggestions, man. Zechariah 13:9 tells us that those who belong to Yahweh will say Yahweh in the name of my Elohim, right? See, the traditions of our fathers have failed us in this regard. We're told in the book of Revelations 2:13 that we are to hold fast to his name. But men have not preserved the truth. It has fallen in the streets. Why did the Pharisees and the priests tell Yahweh's followers not to utter his name? Because they knew that when Yahweh's name was being uttered, that the Father's name was being uttered as well, because the Father's name is in the Son's name. Let's prove it. Let's get Shalom 23:21. That's why they don't want you to say. That's why they want you to call on Jesus. Jesus.
Book of
Father's
Shalom.
name is in the Son's name.
Come on. It's the book of Shalom, Exodus chapter 23, verse 21.
Come
Come on. Beware of him and obey his voice. Provoke him not, for he will not pardon your transgressions. For my name is in him.
See that? My name is in him. Meaning his name is in the Son's name. Yahweh. Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shai. Some of you say Yahuwah. Yahusha. It's still in the name. Now, how you get a higher out of that? Don't you explain that to me? How you get a higher out of that?
Come on.
You can't. Boy. Tories Bay, we got to talk. Man, let me get on with this stuff right here, man. Let me get to some it's enough of the scriptures, man. Now we got people's attention here. Again, let me remind people, since we got carried away in the spirit, which is a good thing, man. It's going to be a webinar this weekend. Very informative one. And I can guarantee you, if you attend this, you will be effective against constables, even if you don't have that piece of plastic called the Delta Lima. If you're a trucker, even if you're commercial, even if you're operating in commerce, this document that I've been blessed to discover, if you do this and if you register this, it will be very effective for most of your court cases, most of your traffic stops, even if they're in commerce, even if you're a trucker, right? So you definitely want to attend this webinar. I did post the link in the room. So go ahead and pre-register for the webinar. You will be glad that you did, because this is something different. This is right knowledge for real. Now, what did I do? Thing I was typing up. Tourist Bay. Always come with the questions, huh? All right. Be quick to listen and slow to speak. Tourist Bay. You need to read James 1:19. Quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to anger. It's the book of James 1:19. So I'm going to go ahead and post this link in the room again one more time. How I love with y'all. Here's the link. So I thought. Where's Malachi, man? Malachi said he was on his way to the rest. All right. Marty Mar, you still with us, man? Damn.
Con.
Oh, all right, okay. Good. I thought they had your house Yeah. Better than I ever been. Okay. Depth freedom by mastering your straw man, agreed man, the title or appellation of a person. So the webinar this weekend is going to be something similar to this, but much more powerful. There's a certain document that when we're actually registered, I found the state that's actually literally left a back door open. And if you use this, you will have success. I mean, big success. I know a lot of people that I communicate with off the grid that's having success with this. So you truckers, all of you that have court cases, all of you that may get pulled over a lot and you're not operating with a piece of plastic, you definitely want to attend this webinar because you could ask them one question. Once you present this, you will ask them one question, right? And they will go away. Otherwise, they will be facing a lawsuit. Okay. Can someone take that right knowledge for real, man? Authorized representative of Thousand Dogs just chilling right there. Can you guys see that, man?
I got it.
Well,
I see it.
There's a few more people missing, man. What happened to Dwayne, man?
I think the headliner you have of Sugar Ray is covering up the bottom part, but I can't really tell.
Huh?
But
What headliner?
The thing where you highlight someone's comment.
Yeah, it looks totally different on my screen, man.
Yeah, it's covering up.
There.
But
Yo, Sweetness, where you at? There you go, right there.
There we go. Right knowledge for real. The sovereign was the natural man with two names written in upper and lowercase letters. They had to give you the same benefit or the same privilege or right on the other side in equity. And that person was called a non-resident alien, someone who was not subject to the jurisdiction.
Okay. So if you want to be a non-resident alien, you're not subject to the jurisdiction. You definitely want to attend this webinar this weekend because you will be considered a non-resident alien operating from a sovereign capacity outside of the jurisdiction of the de facto and its agents. Because its agents, I discovered, is not registered. And they are all supposed to be registered. Second person.
The second person I want to deal with is a person in all capital letters. And that person is called a vessel of the United States. You find that in the United States government printing office style manual. You can find that in most law libraries in section 11.7. It says names of vessels are quoted in matters printed on the in other than lowercase Roman, and it shows a vessel written in all capital letters.
A vessel of the United States has been defined in Title 18, Section 9. You might want to write that down, Choice Bay. Vessel of the United States defined. The term vessel of the United States as used in this title means a vessel belonging in whole or in part to the United States or any citizen thereof, or any corporation created by or under the laws of the United States or any state or territory or district or possession. It is typically a vessel which is registered. Registered, key thing right there. The vessel is registered. You're registered by way of your birth certificate. Did you know that? Makes you a vessel. It is typically a vessel which is registered, enrolled, or licensed. So anyone who is licensed, registered, you have to register your car and register your property. You register your children for school. These are all vessels belonging in whole or in part to the United States. Every time you register something, they own you. And that's where that comes out of when they extrapolate it for the admiralty. So when a person goes down and signs up for a Social Security, they are creating a vessel in all capital letters. When you walk into the Social Security office, you have to have a birth certificate, which is a form of registration. Do you understand? Very well.
Protected.
Get something. No, I didn't.
Protected. And if he doesn't use a social security number, will be protected from the government because that is considered in law as a foreign sister trust. Under trust, there's a place that says foreign sister trust, and it says a trust which owes its existence to foreign law. It is treated for tax purposes as a non-resident alien individual. Many of us in this movement have heard of that expression, but what we didn't know is that it is a trust because all of equity is a trust. You don't put periods, commas, colons, semicolons, or anything else, because every time you do something like that, it is not the way it is written on the original birth certificate. You change the meaning of it. That's what they mean by title or appellation. The next name is the name written in upper and lowercase letters with an initial. That person comes into being on a W-4 form. W-4 form says write your first name, middle initial, and last name. Trustee, that is the who, turns over the res to the federal government because a trust is created whenever property or money or title is transferred, and that's automatic. The corporate name, there's another name, which is a corporate name, but we're not dealing with corporations. You can have a corporation name after yourself, and that's a separate entity too. That is in all capital letters.
That's what you want to control. And that's what the webinar will consist of this weekend. They teach you how to control that name and use that name as your business.
Most corporations are vessels of the United States. And that's why whenever you see in personam is contractual. And the contract that got you into this was the SS5 SSA application. An equitable estoppel, unless you change the record, revest title is called because you have divested yourself of it and revoked the fiduciary relationship and the power of attorney. You cannot get remedy because it is called an equitable estoppel. An estoppel is when one is precluded from telling the truth by his prior actions. Two types of birth certificates. There are two types of birth certificates that are issued. A friend gave me the two birth certificates. One is called the Certificate of Live Birth, which has the names written in upper and lowercase letters. There's another one called the Certificate of Vital Records, Certification of Vital Records, State of Colorado. That is written in all uppercase letters. So when a baby is born now, it gets a social security number. They very seldom get a certificate of live birth now. They get a certification of vital records, and the person written on it is in all capital letters. And that is considered a vessel of the United States, owned in whole or in part by the United States. That's the important thing. All these relationships in equity are voluntary.
Contractual relationship.
The following explains the agency relationship that we have with all these government agencies. It says they are all contractual. American jurisprudence 2D under agency section 1. The term agency means a fiduciary relationship by which a party confides to another the management of some business to be transacted in the former's name or on his account, and by which such other assumes to do the business and render an account of it. It has also been defined as a fiduciary relationship which results from the manifestation of consent by one person to another that the other shall act on his behalf and subject to his control and consent by the other so to act. Thus, the term agency, in its legal sense, always imports commercial or contractual dealings between two parties by and through a medium of another. The res, when you look at the 14th Amendment, it talks about a person being born subject to the jurisdiction. When you look up the word born, you'll find it talks about delivery. When you look up delivery, it is when the res is transferred constructively over to another party. Okay, the res meaning the thing itself, or the person, the property, or future rights to property. When they pass a law, they always must pass a remedy to that law because this is still a free country.
You have a right to do it or not to do it.
Am jur. There used to be patriot mythology, which said if you cross the bar, you grant jurisdiction. You grant jurisdiction when you sign up for Social Security. That's when you change your name. Trust law states that whenever title is transferred, a trust is created by operation of law. And whenever money is transferred, it in the operation of law, a trust is automatically created. You find that in am jur, when you look under trust and jur, it explains that it is not a constructive trust. It is an express trust. A constructive trust is created behind your back. However, you expressly transferred title. You didn't know that you were doing that, but under their law, you were presumed to know the law. Under trust and am jur, you'll see how that works. When one person delivers money to another for a specific purpose, the transaction becomes a trust. So it is automatic. It also says whenever title is transferred, a trust is automatically created. It's by operation of law, and it is an express trust because when you in there and ask to have it done, you walked in with your birth certificate, the one in upper and lowercase letters, and you transferred title. And from then on, you were known not as the three-named person on the birth certificate. You are now known as the person in all capital letters. This express trust is created through SS5, Social Security application. So now you have asked the government to step in and play a fiduciary responsibility over the property of the trust.
A fiduciary relationship, 26 CFR, section 301, 7701, definition, person, fiduciary. Fiduciary distinguished from an agent. There may be a fiduciary relationship between an agent and a principal. The principal is the person who walks in and signs up with the government. The agent or the representative is the IRS, so forth. But the word a agent does not denote a fiduciary. An agent having an entire charge of property with the authority to effect and execute a lease and tenant, the power of attorney. People need to realize that the power of attorney is the 1040 form, entirely on his own responsibility and without consulting the principal, merely turning over the net proceeds from the property periodically to the principal by virtue of authority conferred upon him by a power of attorney. 26 CFR 601.53. Note that 26 is the so-called RIS code. Requirements of a power of attorney: signature, fiduciary, and commissioner's authority to substitute other requirements. This describes what a power of attorney has in it. The 1040 fits the description. It has everything the power of attorney must have in it. That's where we gave them the power of attorney. United States District Courts. Many people have to go into the United States District Court, and that court is a territorial court. It is not the court of law. It is created by virtue of the sovereign and congressional faculty granted under Article 4, Section 3 of the instrument, Bulk versus Puerto Rico, 258 Supreme Court. Proper court to go into is the District Court of the United States, small d, small c. And that's the law side of the court. However, to go into that court, your status must be correct. In the voice of Raymond Smith, your status must be correct. In equity, when you're in equity, you have to do it according to their rules. These are the courts that you go into today, by the way, equity. Because equity, they create the rules. That's what a judge says, my court, right? It is his court. A lot of things we're doing are under law and not under equity. So we have to know how to do them under equity based on their rules, because we volunteered in, we have to go by their rules. The power to revest. Title 26 CFR 1.6768. 1. Power to revest. The title to portion the trust property in grantor general rules if a power to revest in the grantor title to any portion of the title is exercised by the grantor or non-adverse party or both without the approval or consent of the adverse party. That's the government. So you have the power to revoke the power of attorney and revest and to terminate. You must do this on a government form, and you must know how to do it. The grantor types trust, because the birth certificate is an irrevocable trust that is set up, and that is one of their secrets. It is an irrevocable trust, and you cannot change the name on them unless you go to the court. You cannot change it any way, shape, or form, because you did not create that trust. The grantor types trust that are created under the Social Security, you can change at any time, and you can revoke at any time because you created that trust. So I'm going to take it from right there.
For your property is brought down through generations in equity, because that's what a trust is. And equity has existed for hundreds of years under the law of use from England. So this is what happens. You have an denier, the person who is either a citizen nor resident of the United States, sui juris, is a Christian appellation or the legal name. Legal as opposed to equity. A vocable trust, vocable. Trust that is on the birth certificate, which you cannot change. Legal name under common law consists of Christian name, one surname, and the insertion, omission, or mistake in the middle name or initial is immaterial. The legal name of an individual consists of a given or baptismal name, usually assumed at birth, and a surname deriving from the common name of the parents. Christian name is necessary in any process reverting one back to one's natural self, sui juris. He is sui juris, and we all agree on that. The common law person is sui juris. Outside of equity, so is the only only one that can do this procedure. Another thing is the address must be written in a foreign address because it is the law of domicile which determines what laws are going to be applicable. When you look up born, it gives the word deliver. When you look up delivery, it gives the word res of your trust. The birth certificate, written in upper lowercase letters, not the one that is now in capital letters on the bank paper, is transferred constructively to the federal government. Under amjur, under trust, it says that whenever title is transferred or property is transferred, a trust is automatically created by operation of law, regardless of the intent of the parties. So when you walk in with your birth certificate in upper and lowercase letters and you transfer title, you created this new entity in all capital letters. The straw man. Black Law's Dictionary, 6th edition on page 1142, definition of persons. To understand this even further, Black Law's Dictionary uses the word entity. When you look up entity, is defined on page 532 as a real being, existence, an organization or being that possesses separate existence for tax purposes. So they got you to create this separate being. The so-called straw man, person, entity, corporation, trust, partnership, whatever, so they could tax that. That's the entity they are taxing because they have no legal authority to tax the individual. The 16th Amendment gave them no new authority to tax anybody.
So the law says you have the power to change the situation and to revoke the situation at any time. The Different Kinds of Law, Volume 4, Business Law by Nathan Isaac. It talks about the different kinds of law that must be dealt with. Contract, agency, corporation, trustee, and when they don't mention here, admiralty, which is insurance. That's where the Social Security comes in that puts us in, but it says you can cancel the admiralty contracts. There's an agency relationship. If you look up agency in the black laws, you will find that you hired the IRS to handle this account for you. And it's power of attorney. If you don't revoke the power of attorney, the power of attorney comes around, the attorney comes around your back and undo everything. You're done. An attorney said, this is out of the Rocky Mountain News, November the 13th, 1995, in Colorado. He said, quote, the power of attorney should not be given to another person lightly. It depends on the scope of the document. If it is a financial, the power of attorney, it can give the agent, the person who gets the power of attorney, the ability to rob you blind. And that's why that's what these guys are looking to do to us. They are robbing us blind. It also says here that you have to revoke the power of attorney. Amjur under agency says you have to revoke the instrument. Many patriots seem to be under the impression that you revoke the signature, but that's not correct. You revoke the instrument.
Look in Amjur, Encyclopedia of Law under Agency, and it will tell you how that agency relation works and how that agent can undo everything you have done if you do not revoke it. Give you an example. Under UCC, you will not find murder. The UCC only covers two things: orders to pay and promises to pay. Murder doesn't come under that. It has been said that commerce is defined in Title 27 and all crimes are commercial. That may be, but they are commercial because they are admiralty. What puts you in admiralty is the insurance program of Social Security. Insurance is under admiralty law. That's what gets us into commercial activity with the government across state lines. You'll find all those crimes listed under Title 27 USC Section 72 and Benedict on Admiralty, 4th edition, revised, Jurisdiction and Principles, 1988 supplement. It lists all the crimes in Title 27 under Admiralty law because there are no common law crimes in the federal jurisdiction. So they all must be commercial. The vessel, that's why they, 20 CFR 404-1004 Part 3 American vessel means a vessel documented or numbered under the laws of the United States. So that's what vessel is. And remember, the vessel is the straw man.
You'll see that in the government style manual in commercial crimes. And what puts you in the jurisdiction is the contract. Title 26 is a trust fund, and it is the Puerto Rican trust. Trust 62 Statutes at Large, Volume 4873, Congress Session 2, Chapter 756, June 26, 1934. Under that section, you will find that the trust is called number 62, Puerto Rican Special Fund Internal Revenue. So the Title 26 contains the law of the trust. In fact, all the titles are the laws of the trust. And it says here, the funds appearing on the books of the government and listed in subsection B and C of this section shall be classified on the books of the Treasury as trust funds. All monies occurring to these funds are hereby appropriated and shall be disbursed in compliance with the terms of the trust. Hereafter, monies received by the government as trustee analogous to these funds named in this section B, C of this section, and not otherwise herein provided. The Puerto Rican trust. It gives the names of quite a few of the trusts. And number 62 is the Puerto Rican trust. Another section people want to look at is Title 31, Money and Finances, Subsection 2, Administrative Section 321, General Authority of the Secretary. And number 2 under that says, for the purpose of the federal income, estate, and gift taxes, property accepted under paragraph 1 shall be considered as a gift or a bequest to or for the use of the United States. So all monies that are given to the United States are from the trust, and they are gifts because the trust that is created on the Social Security is charitable trust, and the government is not taxing the individuals. They are taxing the trust because the flesh and blood person they cannot tax without appointment. Appropriate. Someone can take it there.
So they are obeying the law. The thing is, we don't know what the law says. 14th Amendment doesn't really talk about two citizenships. It creates a new one, which is a federal citizen. Those were set up in Puerto Rico. So when you say you are a United States citizen, you are a citizen of Puerto Rico. That's where you immigrated. An American national does not have to be naturalized. 14th Amendment talks about being naturalized. Well, what you miss is all persons born. When were you born? Look up the word born. In a law dictionary, it mentions the word delivery. Delivery is when the property or the res is transferred, and that's when you transferred your name or title from the person on your birth certificate, written in upper and lowercase letters. The alien individual. Trust. When they transfer over to equity, they had to give you something equivalent to a sovereign individual. And that equivalent is called the non-resident alien individual, which is a trust.
A trust.
You find that in blacks, when you look under trust, it says foreign sister trust. And it says it is a trust which owes its existence to foreign law. It is created for tax purposes as a non-resident alien individual. But non-resident alien working for a corporation can be taxed. However, that is because he is within your jurisdiction. And when he is working for a corporation, however, you can get an exemption. And there's a form for that. There's a form for a person who works for a corporation, and there's a one for the independent contractor. That's the term for the freedom or free man in equity, but he must have an exemption. A violation of fiduciary duty. They now call a free man a non-resident alien individual. There are no debtors in prison. The law says there are no debtors' prisons in America. However, there are prisons for violations of fiduciary duty. That is what people are being thrown in jail for, a violation of fiduciary duty. Because they created this trust, made the government partial beneficiary of the trust, and they hired the IRS to handle that account and to effectuate their conduct and the conduct of third parties, the employer or whoever else you do business with. And that's why you don't get any remedy. And that's why people end up in jail. Violation of fiduciary duty. Some of this is looking a little bit familiar. You guys definitely want to jump on this thing.
They do not tolerate that at all. Trust fund taxes and employment taxes. What people need to know, the tax in questions that is being collected is not income tax. It is not income tax. It is not income tax. It is called trust fund taxes and employment taxes. That is the tax that is being collected. Trust fund taxes, and they are called employment taxes. You'll find the thing on employment taxes in Title 26, Internal Revenue Section 3401. And it says, quote, employment taxes. The term employment taxes mean any tax imposed by Subtitle C of the Internal Revenue Code of 1986. In the quote, you'll find that the codified in 26 CFR 801.401 employment taxes, and it says federal employment taxes are imposed by Subtitle C of the Internal Revenue Code. When you look under Subtitle C, you'll find that the tax is voluntary, and that's called a voluntary withholding agreement. Voluntary withholding agreement. That is in 26 CFR 31.3402 Papa 1. Voluntary withholding agreement. Voluntary withholding agreement. Taxing and fictitious entity. The trustee is the one who pays the taxes. What is being taxed is the trust. The tax is attributed to the trust that you set up. That is what is being taxed because they have no lawful authority to tax the individual, the natural person. When you look under the persons in Black Law's dictionary, it talks about entity. When you look up entity in Black laws, it says a real being, existence, an organization, or being that possess separate existence for tax purposes. So they created another entity called a trust in order to tax because they knew they couldn't tax the natural man, common law individual. The live individual they cannot tax. They are taxing a fictitious entity. So they got you to create this separate being, this so-called strawman person, entity, corporation, trust, partnership, whatever, so they could tax you. That's the entity they're taxing because they have no legal authority to tax the individual status of a vessel of the United States. Vessels documented under the law of the United States are entitled to privilege and subject to obligations described by the law of the United States for merchant vessels. So here it says It is the documentation that gets you in trouble. Someone could continue.
Section 81.4 Regulations, Appendix B13, Status of American Undocumented Vessels. American documented vessels are not under the jurisdiction of the United States and consequently are not subject to obligations nor entitled to protections. Admiralty law extrapolated on land. Here it is saying it is the documentation that gets you in trouble. Then, if you want to find out the number of what the number does, you go to section 783.41, which talks about the number of the vessels. And it says you are required to have a number if you are going to operate in Admiralty waters, which is on their highways and their business and contracts. That is not the number which gets you in trouble. It's the documentation. The government has a form to cancel the documentation for the SS5 application. So I've proved my point right here. They think it is very important to cancel the application. It says nothing about the number. When you apply for Social Security, it does so unless you get rid of the documentation, and there's a form to do that. However, it must be done in the correct way. Then you are subject to obligations if you don't get rid of that documentation. And if anyone wants to see what the documentation is, they even define what documentation is, and here it is. You'll find it in the same thing, Benedict on Admiralty, section 783.41, number of vessels, and it says it is not the number that does you in. You need a number to operate in Admiralty.
You need a number to operate in Admiralty. They say that it's right here. And remember, they took the Admiralty law, extrapolated on the land. Isn't say on the SS5 that you are applying for a number. It says you are applying for a card or the documentation. So the straw man, I want to make this abundantly clear, is a person, corporation, trust, and all of those things which are considered a vessel or entities, real beings possessing separate existence for tax purposes. And you create the entity when you sign up for the Social Security. That's when you created the straw man. You created it, they didn't. And the law says you created this when you walk in and you transfer title. Another thing about the documents of the title, I believe there are two birth certificates. There is the one they give now, which is on the back, so like on the banknote paper. I believe that the one you actually transfer title, the previous one written in upper and lower case letters, and the certificates of live birth versus these new ones you get now, which are the documents of title that you're still holding, but what it says is you transferred it constructively. When you look up the delivery, it says it is not an actual transfer. It is a constructed delivery of the trust. It is a constructed, not actual. So you still have the title. I already read that the law says you are treated as the owner, even though you are not treated as the owner underneath their laws. And at all times, you have the power to revoke. Oddly enough, there's a law that says you can revoke this fiduciary relationship, a principal, and the agent that you got yourself into. Code Federal Regulations 26 CFR 316903. I noticed the fiduciary relationship when the fiduciary capacity has terminated the fiduciary in order to be relieved of any further duty or liability as such, must file with the district director. The district director is the district director of the IRS in your region or area, and it is not the Secretary of State. It is not Secretary of State. And that concludes this presentation. Yeah. How you like me now, Marty? so once again, this is just a touch of what we're going to be discussing on the webinar this weekend. We're going to show you how to really use the name as a business. If you happen to be one of those truckers out there, you're getting tired of getting pulled over and getting violated by these constables, there is a document that you can handle them and make that go away. Believe it or not. And my name is not Ripley's. So you best believe it. You dig? You better dig. Any questions? Yeah, let's open it up, man. So once again, I think I should go ahead and put the link in the room first. No, actually, I'll put this in the room for the what? No, that's the StreamYard link. There's a StreamYard link right there. But I'll post a link to the webinar once again, man, so you guys could play like Price is Right and come on down. Get jiggy with it. You understand what I'm saying? Marty Ma. You still here, Marty? I got Marty jacked up, man. So there's a link. Anyone want to come in the room, man? There's a link. Marty, tell your public to come in the room. They got some questions, man.
That was over the top interesting, man.
We got the heat rock over here, Marty.
Thinking about that a little bit. But yeah, I think I'll see you in the webinar this weekend. We'll talk about it.
We got the heat rock over here, Marty, coming out of our mouth, man.
Hey, lay that alone.
A volcano, man.
Get me.
Jeremiah, what's going on?
Yo, Ty, shalom.
Shalom, man. What's going on with you, King?
So from what I understand from like my limited knowledge on this subject, you should be trying to correct your status and become an American national. And the way, well, from just what I know personally, would be through what I presume a DS-11, and like to correct your status through a passport.
Well, I mean, I guess that's the way that you would do it. I can't say that there's no one way to do it, but I don't see how doing that is actually going to undo your contract. Maybe you could explain that to me, because I heard a lot of people saying that. But tell me, how does that undo previous contracts that they have in place by simply getting a foreign passport? We still have contracts in place, right? We still have those other contracts in place. How does that passport make those contracts null and void? So are you suggesting that the passport takes back power of attorney from the de facto state?
No, but in a way, I mean, it corrects your status, but you have to know how to proceed from there and what to do.
No, I mean, but you're saying something, so you should be able to explain this to me, because you're putting this out here, right? So you should be able to explain to me, how is that going to revoke? Okay, you're going to get a passport, right?
Mm-hmm.
How does that void out or controls the birth certificate? How does that controls the social? How does that take power of attorney back from the state simply by me getting a passport, right? Obviously, I'm not changing my name on the passport. So they got a history of these contracts that I still in place. How am I noticing these people with a passport? That's what I want to, because I heard this argument before. So I want to know how that's going to void those out.
I'm not sure. I don't think it does void it out.
No, it doesn't.
Sure, there's other things that you will have to do.
Right. There is. You're going to have to notice these people, and you're going to have to take power of attorney back from the state. So we just went over, you know what you're basically saying to me, good brother, is you didn't understand anything that was stated here. Because we just went over how people literally surrender themselves to the jurisdiction of the de facto state by that social security, that birth certificate, and so on and so forth. So I would love to comprehend how they're coming up with these people that's pushing this about the passport. How is that going to undo those contracts? Because if you and I have a contract, and that contract right there, that's an indefinite contract until we notice them and state that, hey, you know what, I'm competent to handle my own affairs. I'm revoking back power of attorney from the de facto state. Otherwise, the contract's still there. And I just because I'm doing a passport and listing myself as an American national, does that undo those other contracts that I have? Au contraire. So it seems like to me, man, these people, they're going to get a passport and then they'll go right back and sign an SS5. I mean, I don't know. Somebody else in the room know that argument? Because I heard it from that guy, Donald Gill. He was pushing it to this guy, 1 foot Terrence. And I think it's BS. It's very hard to pull one over on me, man. Especially when you comprehend this stuff like me, man. I have a high level of comprehension of this stuff. And some of the nonsense that they push to other people, I'll just cut that down within seconds because it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me, man.
Hey, Khan, can I say there could be more than one way to rescind the contracts? Would that be fair to say? I mean, there's not only one. There's not only one way to do that. It can be different ways depending on the individual that's doing it. Would that be fair?
Well, I don't know. The only way to rescind them is to revoke a contract. So that's constructing a notice and putting these people on notice. But these contracts don't just go away on their own, right? Yeah, check out how ridiculous it is. You're more. You got a lot of background, but check out how ridiculous.
Oh yeah, forgive me, brother. I'm gonna take care of that right now.
I'm paying a mortgage on something, right? So you trying to tell me if I'm paying a mortgage on something because I go and get some damn foreign passport, are you telling me that's going to take me out of the mortgage contract? You got to be crazy to believe that, man. You got to use a little common sense in this stuff, man.
Do it, man.
These people come up with anything, and people take it and they run with it, and they get popular for a while. That's just like that nonsense that
let's see. Here we go.
Dent was pushing with the whole TDA, and you still got people trying to do that. And I tell them, "Oh, tell dog, there's no TDA form came in here." I said, "Negro, if you want one, you get one yourself." Didn't I tell you I was against that? Yeah, Marty, you got a lot of background noise there, man. You're figuring it out. What's going on, Melvin? You heard about that passport argument that he's trying to present?
Yeah.
I haven't heard one of them that could explain it thoroughly yet, man.
I hear what you're saying. Like, it doesn't revoke any other contracts. It just adds a new contract.
Right. But you understand what I'm saying? With the birth certificate, we give them, and the Social Security, and the 1040, and anytime we register to vote, we giving them power of attorney over us, right? To register, Jeremiah, you understand to register means to surrender title, to give up ownership? That's what it means to register something. A birth certificate is a form of registration. So there's no way they're going to convince me without me revoking anything, right? Without me putting any of these people on notice that I could go and complete a passport, and because it's a foreign passport, and I'm saying I'm an American national, they're telling me all of that other stuff is going away. That's bullshit, man. Come on, they're going to say, yo, you got this right here. The robe's going to pull something out. It's like, hold on, you got this right here. You just filled out a 1040 2 weeks ago. You're still in the system, man. Stop playing, man. I done told him, see, if this brother was listening to the lecture, I told him, who's mentioned the power of attorney, me and Yashabin was just reading. If they still got power of attorney over you, you're gonna get a passport. And because that's kind of like what the Moors be doing, man. Let me hit you with something. Let me tell you more something, man. Because your shit don't work anyways, man. You understand what I'm saying? That Moor shit that you guys be putting out, it doesn't work. I hit you with something. You Moors, you didn't even believe in secure party creditor stuff, man. You stole that. You stole that. You guys wasn't about that. The only thing you guys was about was nationality and name change. And you saw that BS wasn't working. Now you try and steal the SPC stuff and act like it's yours, man. Come on, man. Give me a damn break, man. And most of that stuff that you guys do don't work, man. You lying to people. You lying to people, man. That more stuff that you're doing does not work, man. You see it again and again. This is why you had to come over here and you had to learn the redemption process, because the more stuff wasn't working. And you can't even call me a liar, man. That's why so many of you come over here to me, man, for help. Then you try and steal from me. Can miss me with that, man. Stop lying to people, man. This is why, and if you talk to these Moors, man, the average Moor don't know a damn thing, man. These so-called sheiks, they don't even really teach them right, man. The average Moor don't know stuff. They quote little bits and pieces, and man, and they all have the same damn doctrine. That nonsense don't work, man, for real. The only reason it works is because now they're learning how to operate in commerce. But that damn name changing and nationality, it does not stop them from coming after you, man. This is why you guys be having so many damn warrants out, because you really don't clearly understand how contracts work. And you running and you hide it and you telling people it work. It doesn't work, man. It doesn't work. Stop lying to people, man. You guys are damn jokes, man. You should be on Batman playing the Joker with the damn feds on. And you got damn Israelites running over there following them, man. And they thinking that stuff works, man. That stuff don't work. This is why they have to operate. They Moors. But if you do, and you guys know I'm not lying, man. Show me anywhere in the Noah Jew Lee's history that they was doing secure party creditor paperwork. The only thing he was telling them, they claim their nationality, man, and they was trying to study the law. But now a lot of these Moors are pushing secure party creditor process. Yusef El and all of them, man. That stuff that he's pushing is not Moor stuff, man. You understand what I'm saying? You guys don't know what you're looking at. I got all those Moors books, and none of that is in their books, man. They trying to add on them, man, because their stuff wasn't working. And just be real, and that's why they don't like me, because I be airing them out, man. That garbage don't work, man. You're getting people jacked up. You see them going court and they doing all of this, man. The only thing you do, the rover sit there and he will listen to them talk, then he shut their ass down as soon as they finish talking. They don't show you that part. They don't show you that. The only Moors that this stuff works for is when they add true contract law in there. And that's not part of your doctrine, man. That's not part of your doctrine. Secure party creditor was never part of your doctrine. If it was, it would be in your damn books. None of that is in any of those Moorish books, man. They might try to write some modern books with it in, but it's not there. And all you clowns running over there following them because they talking a little stuff about law, man, but does it work? That's the thing. Does it work? How effective is it? Check out, do some history of what I'm talking about, and you'll see how many damn Moors are actually avoiding convictions, man. They on the run avoiding convictions, man. I can't make this stuff up, man. They're trying to act like they know, man. They some wicked people too, man. They had our people in captivity, man. All you people want to follow in that nonsense, man. They're quiet now. About 10 people jumped off the damn call when I started talking about them damn red hats.
Yeah,
Let me show you something, man. I can't make this stuff up. Watch this. You should go and tie your damn head. You should glue your damn feds to the top of your damn head and tie that damn tassel to a damn building and jump. They ripping people off, man. Don't talk. They ripping people off. And those damn so-called sheiks, they rip the law members off, man. They make them pay all of these member dues, and they're not teaching them nothing. See this? You see this right here? They after them, man. Can you guys see the screen? I don't want that. You guys see my screen right here? One number of Moorish Americans tried to evade prosecution because that crap that they met using in court, man, is not working. They're telling you guys that this stuff is working in court, man, but they looking for it. So what they do is they flee prosecution, man. Shackled in Baltimore courtroom and facing a 110-year sentence for murder and arson. That's something different right there. With respect to your honor, I object to everything you're saying. You see what they do right here? They tell you this stuff works, man.
Wow.
So this dude right here, this so-called Moorish dude, man. Terrence Rollins Bay stood defiant, talking and the prosecutor in a series of outbursts. That's what they do. That's not agreeing with that adversary quickly, and that is a debtor mode. Understand that. When you argue, you're trying to overtalk the robe in his court. That's a debtor move right there. With respect to your honor, I object to everything you're saying, he said. Rollins Bay, 25, was the second murderer defended in a week to open challenge the authority of Baltimore Circuit Judge Emmanuel Brown. Rollins Bay and Robert G. Moore claim in separate trials the court lacks standing or to hear their case. That's what they always claim. That's their primary argument right there. You can go out and commit murder. How in the hell? Listen, man, this damn Moorish nonsense has to stop. Even in common law, man, if you commit a murder, man, you can't get away with that. The punishment in common law is worse than it is in admiralty. You understand that? It's worse. You're better off being punished under the admiralty law, because in common law, it's a life for a life. Such challenges, which can invoke obscure treaties or the Pope's name, are becoming more frequent, prosecutors said. See, these Moors are doing that. Defendants often argue they have Moroccan roots that render them exempt. See, this is what Drew Ali told them. Claim nationality and you'll be okay. And they're going in court and they're finding out this don't work. This is why so many of them now is jumping on status correction and so on and so forth. Because your stuff don't work. Just admit it, man. Stop being a damn liar. It don't work. Such claims have proven roundly unsuccessful. See what I'm saying? As legal defenses. The only thing they do is buy more time in court. That BS don't work, man. But have disputed countless trials. You see that? I didn't write this, man. Mr. Rollins Bay presents, unfortunately, a rather unusual and growing problem within the courts. Assistant State Attorney Charles Blomquist said at Rollins Bay recent sentencing hearing. He got sentenced. Mainstream followers of Moorish Americans. I want you guys to hear this well, man, because I'm advocating this. Mainstream followers of Moorish Americans, the Moorish American Science Temple, founded in the early 20th century as a religious and civil rights organization, says such defendants are distorting the faith to serve their own ends. The group's doctrine requires adherents to follow all laws. Yas Asaf El, who runs a small temple in Montgomery Village, worries that Moorish American science which already has a factitious history, is becoming known only for inmates who claim to be followers and act up in court. Lots of people try to take their own interpretations of it. Ashraf L. said, it's causing a lot of conflict. Most Americans follows a blend of Islam shape. This is what Yahweh is mixed in there too. Yeah, 13 love too. You're following Islam also. You claim not to, but if you're claiming you're more, you're following Islam. Most Americans follow a blend of Islam shaped by movement's founder, Noble Jew Ali. They often append L or Bey to their last names. Some followers also have claimed to have roots to America that predates the United States and argues that the 1787 treaty with Morocco exempts them from American laws. That is the argument that they primarily present. So they realize it's not working. Now they're trying to move on and act like they was already doing the status correction and secure party creditor. It's a lie. I know your history better than most of you, and you're just not real. So you won't come out and say it, man. But someone got to air your ass out, and the Most High put the spirit on me to do it. At his sentencing, Rollins Bey drew a language often associated with a so-called sovereign citizen. You see that? So they had to resort to this because their doctrine wasn't working. Who rely on anchoring readings of the law to claim courts are powerless over them. He repeatedly objected to the legal proceedings and rolled out a blend of religious and quasi-legal phrases. I am a natural living soul, he said at one point. Later he asked, is there a claim against me? Despite the growing popularity of the strategy, proceedings have continued over objections of defendants such as Rollins Bey, even if it means ejecting them from the room. The case against Moore, 45, is proceeding and is absent because he refuses to cooperate with security officers and be brought to the court from a jail cell. Brown and the lawyers in the case visited Moore in the lockup, and the judge said in the court the defendant was very polite but declined to talk to them beyond repeating, I object to any silent contract. Jean Williams Moore's mother said he has been seeking legal advice from other inmates, but the main reason for his strategy is a belief that he will not get a free trial. It's almost a no-win battle, Williams said. Moore is accused of leading a drug dealing group that waged a campaign of vengeance over the death of one of his relatives. You see that? Now, how in the hell is that righteous? How's that righteous? Rollins Bey, who represented himself, was held in contempt for his outbursts and removed from the courtroom for portions of his trial. He and co-defendant Don Pewley was convicted of killing a man in an execution-style shooting, then torching his car. And you want to be associated with people like this, man? This is why I screen people, man, before I even talk to them. His disruptive behavior also got him a stiffer sentence than Pulley, who was convicted on the same charges. It's kind of hard for me to sit back and just watch them do their little antics in the courtroom. Y.G. Rosenstein sounds like a so-called Jewish man, right? U.S. Attorney for Maryland said his office has seen a number of crazy stories in which defendants try some varieties of the idea that courts are powerless over them. Some claim to be represented by the Pope. What the hell? Others quibble with their names being spelled in capital letters in the courtroom. Okay, the arguments can be frustrating to prosecutors, Rosenstein said, but rarely do more than slow proceedings down. So he's saying the only thing it does is slow the proceedings down. You understand what I'm saying? The notion that claims a Moorish American's heritage can help defendants evade prosecution circulates in the Baltimore City Detention Center, according to Romeo Joyner L., who worked for the corrections department from 1985 to 2006. People are drawn to the temple because it offers a support network, he says, but some go astray. There we have it, folks. Decide for yourselves. Decide for yourself, Torres Bay. They murdering people and all that. I thought they was righteous. You said, "Oh, Tazadak, that's just a cup of bad apples." Well, I see a history of them doing a lot of violence. Why accept them in the temple if they like that? You dealing death to your people? See, this is why you be careful who you teach this stuff to. You see what I'm saying, Marty? They're trying to learn the law, man, and use it for wickedness. Use it for things like this. You're going to execute someone, man, then you want to walk around free. Nah, man.
Yeah, Khan. That's not what this is about, brother. And they're making it bad for a lot of other brothers too, man.
But Torres Bay, you say you're more. This is you told me you've been having seen a thing. This is associated with you. Even your leader, the 13th nun, says he's a Moor. You understand that? You're associated with him. That's what it is, man. You like that, understand it, believe it or not. You're compared to them, man. You're calling yourself a Moor, man. You're more. So whether you like it or not, can someone please help this guy out, man? And tell him whether he like it or not, they're going to associate his ass with them, man. You're identifying yourself as a Moor, man. What do you say? A Yahudi Moor. You're still a Moor, man. Do you think they're going to say, "Oh, well, he's a Yahudi Moor, don't bother him"? Well, they're coming down on Moors, man. Them poor Israelites over the cops going to be like, "Nah, I don't want him. Give me some more."
Oh, man.
This guy. What about Yashibin? Nah, give me some more. Okay, we got Yahya Bay for you. We got Torres Bay for you. Nah, that's good.
No, man, it's time to let that go. You gotta let it go.
And Monkin people, man, you better get that name from off of you, man.
They marking sovereign citizens.
Now, how is this? How are you saying don't compare you to that, Torres, when you're using that name? You got that affiliation tied to you right now. Torres Ephraim Bay. That right there sets off an alarm, man.
What is that? What is that bay in reference to? Because I know we went over to L. What is that bay? B-E-Y.
Yeah, so-called teacher. Yeah, he said he's a student, man. He probably doesn't even know what it means, man. Because I figure out that brother been using a lot of things that he doesn't know what it means. The primary three used is the Bay, El, Day, and Ali. Right? So the meaning of the Bay or the L, which is typically added at the end of people's last names, supposedly signifying them returning to the knowledge of being a Moor. Supposedly, right? The supposedly family names that belong to the nation of Moors, right? Who supposedly are so-called associated with the ancient Moabites.
Hey, we all come across this road where the truth does smack us in the face, beat us over the head, or sits in our lap. The Most High is calling you, and those of us with the truth, now you have a responsibility on what you're going to do with it. So you're at a crossroads. You're going to have to make a decision.
And when you look it up, man, it's actually a Turkish name, the word Bey. Should I say a Turkish title?
Shalom, Akim. I was silent because I don't know what was going on. It was getting all staticky and stuff on mine, and it just got good. Well, it's actually it was a bad storm over here.
Shalom, shalom. Suicide is an unforgivable sin, Torch. You better get in that Torah, man. Start reading the Torah.
Yeah, he's a little upset. But it is well. It is well. He'll get past that once the dust settles and logic sets in.
It's one of the people right there. That's that symbol they're talking about. 13 right there. Man, let's can we get a couple of you 13 guys to come in the room? We got some questions for you, man. Now, what kind of movement is this? Come on in the room, guys. Mustafa also. You can come in the room because you seem like one of them. You're saying you're learning to ride a bike, but if you're telling the truth, you know what I mean? You don't want to learn how to ride the bike. You want to tap dance. So we're going to get you some damn Sammy Davis Jr. sneakers, slippers, because you just want to tap dance. You don't really want how to lie. So you could be that coon. You know what I mean? Like Sammy Davis, man. He tap dancing every damn where, acting like the candy man. You understand what I'm saying? Because we're trying to give you the truth, man. We're trying to show you, man, because you guys, you're trying to mix the Torah and to knock in with that Moorish stuff. It doesn't mix like that, man. There's nothing in that book where you could show us that it says that we're Moors. Not one single thing. Not one thing in the Bible. Not one. Gonna have to draw a line in the sand, man. At the end of the day, Taurus, you're saying you're there for the children and all that, man. The only thing you're gonna teach the children is lies, man. Because what you're learning, brother, is lies. That's what we're trying to say to you, and you don't want to face it, man. And you pretend, oh, I'm a student. If you're a student listens to the instructors and do what the instructor says. And the only thing we told you to do is to go and check out everything. Don't believe us? Go and check it out for yourself. We already proved that thing has all kind of holes in it, man. That damn TLC thing got more damn holes in it than a piece of damn Swiss cheese. Charlatan, man.
Yeah.
Charlatan is teaching him, man.
Yeah, you showing mad love right about now, man. Definitely commend you on that one. Because he's being taken advantage of. I mean, even when you look at the video, he made no references to anything solid. I mean, his body language was shifty, and he's I don't know, man. I don't know.
Just wanted something knowledgeable, man. And they got a couple homosexuals in there, man. That dude that came to my seminar, man, when I done one in Manhattan, he was in that damn community, and he was flamboyant as hell, man. Then he pulled out that damn thing, the whole the the turban with the crown on it, and put the prayer shawl. I'm like, oh man, this damn guy is, you know what I mean?
Oh no.
Yeah. And he was in that community. I was like, come on, man. Tourist got to see that this dude is not right, man. He didn't pull it out. He was hiding it in the bag. And Tourist was like, I said, I never forget nothing. He probably forgot it already. He said, oh, yeah, I'm a part of that community also, man. 13 Love. I'm like, yo, man, this dude right here is flaming my head. You know what I mean? You can't see that? He's like, yo, man, let me get a picture with. Nah, I'm good, homie. Let me get a picture with you top. Nah, I'm good. I'm good. I don't want to end up on some weird site.
Right.
You feel me? Nah, I don't want to be on some weird site, man.
It's like they're trying to mix water and oil. It's two totally different things. But Yehudi or it doesn't even. It's just.
And explain that, man. How you be a Yehudi more? You're not even from the tribe of Judah. That don't make no sense, man. That guy's making things up. That 13th son, you see what I'm saying? He used the Bible as a religious method to pull him in, and then he used all of this science to try and fascinate him. Oh man, that seems amazing.
But see, is it the etymology of the word science? Wasn't it the study of the creator? Science meant the study of the creator, study of.
Mm-hmm.
So like, it's wild.
TLC 13 Love. Come on in, man.
Yeah, come in the room.
13 Love. Come on in the room, man. See, this is how you know that they know their doctrine has holes in it. Because you stay in the closet, man. It's kind of like that. Damn, you guys better stop drinking that Kool-Aid, man. He probably giving them mango Kool-Aid or something because they eat a lot of fruits. And that Jim Jones preaching, man. 13 this, 13 that. Yeah, all right.
So they really not going to come in?
Oh, man. Come on, man. Would you? If your doctrine was screwed up, would you, man?
But them not coming in shows forth that I didn't come here to get disrespected, little homie. Okay.
This is you came here to get edified. You're here for a reason. See what I'm saying? They said disrespected. How are we disrespecting? We're telling you what you're following is off, man. That's all.
Wow. So going into history is you being disrespected. Going into the scriptures is you being disrespected. Us pointing out fallacies and social and psychological behaviors of your so-called leader, how it doesn't line up. I mean, all you have to do is come on here and speak sensibly, show some decorum, provide your your sources and an intellectual conversation, and it's all good. But apparently you already know the truth to a degree, which is why you're not coming up here.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, in your ignorance, you would come up here and speak your piece and whatever, you know, and be ready to, you know, listen or check something out for yourself.
You think they're being attacked? Look at this, man. This right here is not but damn witchcraft. See how he holding this up right here? Hold on. Let me share this, man. It's not but damn witchcraft, man. You know we're not supposed to do no damn thing like this, man. Following this, man.
So is Mustafa up on the is he part of that community too?
I don't know, man. The guy just said I agree with you. So I don't know. Yeah, Mustafa, you can come on in the room, man. You click on the link. I posted a link in the room. I said, damn, well, probably so. Look at the name. That's a so-called Arabic name. Mustafa Abdul. That's Arabic. So probably so.
But it means like it's for the 13th spot. That's for now. I'm saying 13 under you, your family, 13 under your queens, 13 under your kings, 13 under big mama.
Now what the hell is this, man?
Mama, 13 under Captain. What's that Captain? You can tag, baby. 13 under to all your like, alright, boy, so now, check this out. Just a few minutes ago, Queen, Queen Benita, I forget her name right now, but she knows she is. This year, plus others. They asked me a serious question, which I know a lot of people having a fear come down on it right now about this 2012 thing. And I really never really addressed the thing, but I thought I did. Told you 2012 is a season, it's not a date. So all this Mayan bullshit, they're taking and throwing in the bushes. It's real talk. Now they gotta come up with a lot of illusions.
He's done this video back in 2012, man. He don't really put out videos like that anymore, man. I don't know what's going on. But that's his channel right there. He hasn't been really putting out videos, man. Yeah. That's their so-called leader. You full of that, man. He don't even have an eloquent vocabulary. Highly classify, your device is not connected. Shalom, Romeo, what's going on with you? Highly classify, you might want to go out and come back in. Your device is not connected. Mustafa Abdullah. We're waiting for you, Aki. Astaghfirullah. Azubillahi minna shaitan ar-rajim. You on your deen? Come on in here. Here's your chance to make some dawah. Stay on your deen, trying to make some dawah. Highly classify, your device is not connected. Look, Taurus Bay, now his true spirit is coming out. He say, I don't care what people say about me. We talking about your damn cult that you're in. We haven't said one thing about you personally. We talking about that damn cult. You can't see that you're blind. And most people that's in cults, they can't see that they're in a cult. And you're trying to defend it. You talking about you teaching children. The only thing you doing is messing children's damn minds up, man, with that garbage that you're pushing on them. Leave them in their cult, man. That's what they want to be, man. But it's a reason you guys keep coming back. Believe that. Because you know that there's holes in that over there. People see you, Torrance. People see you, man. You might not care what people say, but scripture say in the book of Ephesians, man, 4 verse 5, there's one body, one spirit, just as you were called to one hope when you were called, one supreme Elohim, one faith, and one baptism. So that means all of us can't be right. All of us can't be right. Only one. All of these doctrines can't be right. That's why that guy said, oh, how come we can't come together? That's why we can't come together, man, because everyone can't be right, man. What concord have Hamashiach with Belial? Yeah, highly classified. Your device is not connected. It's not allowing you to come in. Anyone got anything, man? Wasting more time with these, man. It's 12:25, man. These dudes ain't coming in here, man. They show you that they standing on a weak foundation and it's falling. The truth is knocking it off, man. We knocking you off your deen. That's why you didn't come up in here, man. You're not on no Sarata Mustaqim Mila Ibrahim. Nope. You walking with high shaitan. Because you're trying to mix a little bit of truth with lies.
No, I ain't got nothing else, man. I really was wondering, like, when folks say, why can't we come together? I've not heard no one reference the reason for the separation in the first place. And that's when the Nazarene was being, persecuted. And they started, and that Roman Catholic Church came about. That's where all these sects come from. So why can't we come together? There was a separation way back then.
Mm-hmm.
Outlining the Maccabees as well. But anyway, I digress. Ain't nobody else.
Do I need to send a request to join this live discussion? I've been in the room, I don't know how long, man. I'm about to shut this down, man. No time for these dudes. I'm tired, man. Who's that? Oh, that's hey, yo, Raekwon, what's going on?
Oh, Shalom, brother. I'm just here listening and observing. And I was trying to get in earlier when we were going over scripture. And then we started getting into the trust information and stuff. So I kind of just was soaking in that information, taking in a day at a time.
Yeah. All right, man. I'm gonna say shalom, man. I'm gonna shut this down, man. Trying to get some sleep, most I willing, man. What's this? Biology is the cure for fertilization, the act of God, the acts on creation.
Yeah, I think it's about time to go. It's good.
Yeah, he's talking about procreation or whatever.
Yeah, see, they getting weird. They come out at night, man. Like Houdini says, man.
Look at his name.
Look at the symbol right there.
Yep.
Look at the symbol.
666.
There's 666. There's 3 6s right there. All right, man. What happened to Malachi? Malachi was in here for a hot second, man.
Yeah, his signal was really bad, though.
Yeah, it says connection was bad.
Hey, yo, man, we're going to say shalom, man. We thank everyone for tuning in, man. Even TLC, man. We're not here trying to come against you. We're trying to show you what you are, and it's not the truth, man. You cannot call yourself an Israelite or a Yahudi Moor, and you're not keeping commandment 1. You cannot call yourself a Yahudi Moor, and you don't know anything about scripture. You don't know how to keep the high holy days. You don't even know how to properly keep, when your woman is unclean, that you don't even know she's not even supposed to be congregating with you guys. That probably happened all the damn time, man, because you guys don't know the laws. So just keep the word Israel out of your mouth until you're living that out right and exact. Don't affix yourself and take those prayer shorts off, because that's not part of your garment. That's part of That's not part of your tradition. Not no more. The prayer shawl is for Israelites. You understand what I'm saying? The crown that you have on your head, that's what priests wore, not just any Israelite wore that. Priests wore that when they go in the temple, showing that you don't even know the history on that. Yeah, do have you guys going off, man. You guys need to listen and wake up. Otherwise, you're going to get caught up without your nation, man. That's all I got, man. I'm going to say shalom, man. Yahweh Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shabbarakatah, man. Laila Tov. Shalom.
Shalom.